What's up guys, my name is DeadVerse and let's cover the Grimhawk special weapon in BO7 Zombies. The Grimhawk acts like an assault rifle that shoots low velocity rounds, however it does have a special ability later on which you will see. One thing I will say about this weapon is that it deals high headshot damage multiplier, however the body shots kinda suck. It is a special weapon after all, so the idea is that probably you need to use headshots to get the most out of this gun, which can be tough sometimes because it does have low velocity. However, the good thing is that we have completed these crouching kills, and let's see what we get from this chest. Hopefully we get some pretty good stuff so far, and then from here we got Mule Kick, which is going to help us later on, especially with the lower ammo. What's interesting is that the Grimhawk actually does track players in multiplayer, however in zombies it does not, which kind of sucks because honestly, that would have been pretty cool. Imagine track zombies from a certain distance, but in this case it does not. Now what we're going to do, of course, is that we use Ether's Drop because man, we're about to die right there. Let me just get these zombies over here and let's keep on going. Is this weapon good against dogs? I mean, so far it kills them within a few shots, which is good. Let me just get this last dog over here, and then of course we got our max ammo. Let's get some standing kills, and with this weapon, like I said, getting those headshots is very crucial because man, body shots really do struggle a lot. Let me just move over here, and like I said, the good thing is that on Nuked you actually have some space to work with, so it's not that bad. Let me just get these ones, and of course let's keep on going over here. Let's kill some more zombies, and like I said, this weapon honestly is not that bad in comparison. Of course it could be better, but it's just very interesting the fact that it's a special weapon as an assault rifle. What a weird trait. I mean, every time they bring a special weapon, of course they're all different from each other. I mean, you got the Siren and of course an Extravager, and they're just unique in their own way. And then from here, let's see what we get. I got Elemental Pop. That's going to help a little bit with this weapon. Let's just kill these last zombies and hopefully it gets a pretty good special ability. I mean, will it? I'm not sure yet. I mean, you'll see right now. Let's upgrade the Grimhawk and let's see what happens, and so far aims much faster and it also has a better sprint to fire time, which is actually really nice honestly. Another special ability that it has is that the hip accuracy is pretty tight. I mean, anytime you move up and down, it stays in position. That's actually really nice because sometimes when you slide it actually doesn't, but in this case it does. Does the hip fire help during this challenge? I mean, so far we're able to get kills in this location, and as you can see so far, the hip fire is actually pretty good to the point where it can actually get consistent headshot kills. And then from here, let's just aim down sights, and it just aims so much faster. I just love it. Now from here we got our highest rarity. Let's see what we get from this chest, and so far got some pretty good stuff. Okay, Vote Trade, that's actually pretty good. Time to get PhD Flopper, and of course you guys know that Paradox Junction has two versions. We got the past version and this future destroyed version. However, Treyarch recently made it so that now this future destroyed version is called Nuked, which is basically just this version only. Which honestly is kind of funny because of course Paradox Junction is already its own survival map, and for this to be only the section that's available is kind of hilarious honestly. I will say I do like the Nuked version because of course the dogs are the only enemy available besides the zombies. You don't got any shock mimics or anything else, which is actually pretty nice. And then from here, Shadow Rift is very useful against the dogs. Now of course, let me just find the other one. Where is he? Oh, there he is. And then from there we got max ammo. I will say one thing is that it is kind of strange though, because of course Wonder Fist is available, but you have the other perks on the map. And it's like, yeah, of course they're in certain locations, but I just feel like, what's the point of Wonder Fizz if you have all these other perks? But then again, maybe if you just want to get Wonder Fizz, but I mean, it's always there, of course. Now let me just get these ones, and man, this is getting a little hectic. But I will say the downside with this weapon is that the low bullet velocity rounds do hurt a little bit. Especially if you play this game with not the best connection. I mean, luckily for me, I have the benefit of being able to play this game with a decent connection, but in this case, some people don't. Now for some reason, that Ether Shard teleported me all the way over there, which is kind of crazy. Let me just get these ones, and then from here, like I said, low velocity rounds are just one of the few characteristics of this weapon that it's like, okay, this weapon's best used up close and definitely not at a distance. I mean, if you're dealing with like bosses at a distance and like boss fights, then definitely don't use this weapon. The best way to use it, of course, is to get headshots, especially later on once we get Deadshot, it's going to be much more useful than ever. But in this case, actually not doing that bad. I mean, round 15 and killing them pretty quickly. Does Pack-A-Punch 2 make this weapon better? Let's see. So far it's actually able to kill him pretty quickly, especially with Shadow Rift, you're able to activate it much more frequently. Now one thing I will say though is that without Mule Kick you only have 400 rounds. However, with the augment it actually makes it so you can have 600 rounds. The ones that give you more ammo, that's actually pretty crazy. You literally get 200 rounds in this weapon, and I feel like that's actually pretty useful. Granted, of course, you can use Volt Trade and get some more ammo, but I feel like being able to have more ammo is really helpful with this weapon, just because of course it doesn't really have many attachments to go along with it. Of course, there's that attachment that you can make the hit accuracy better, but the thing is the damage is significantly decreased, and it's like with this weapon you don't want to do that. I mean, why would you? We gotta stay in this location for a certain amount of time, and these ones, personally, actually I am a fan of them just because of course they're a huge challenge. The fact that you have to stay in a certain location, I mean, honestly, it's actually one of the things where it's like, okay, you have to use skill to really determine how you're gonna survive. I will say sometimes it is a pain because of course I like some challenges where it's like right away, but I feel like with this one it's like, okay, you have to learn how to train and of course deal with the zombies right in front of you, because so of course in this case you can see that I usually trap myself, but then from there I use a Casman to easily get out of the situation. And then from here, let me just keep on moving and of course being able to avoid them. It's crazy, honestly. I mean, these zombies really can get you from the back or even from the front. It just depends. And then from here, of course, we finally complete this challenge, and let's see what we get from this chest. Hopefully we get some great things as we usually do. Okay, nice. We got a Casimir, and then from here we got stamina. Man, that's actually gonna be really helpful. I just love stamina so much. It really helps on these challenges. Then we find our last dog, and of course it's always right there, and we got max ammo. One thing I will say about the Grimhawk, it's not really a best weapon in terms of if you're like in a corner trying to get out of a sticky situation, because of course sometimes you could easily get trapped like I almost did right there. Time to get some more perks, and of course we're finally going to get that shot, and let's see how it does against the zombies. I mean, it's actually pretty solid so far. Like I said, one thing is that of course you want to avoid staying in corners, because man, it's always helpful to have anything that can easily get you out of there. And luckily for us, we had Ether Shroud. That's actually pretty nice to see. I would definitely train with this weapon. It's not a camping weapon at all, because of course there are some weapons in this game that you can easily camp with. With the Grimhawk, it's definitely not one of those weapons, especially in this case that it shoots pretty slow. I mean, the good thing is that Paradox Junction actually has a pretty decent amount of areas of training, especially this Nuked version, because I mean we have both backyards and of course Trinity Avenue. But I will say one thing is that I wish it was like the original Nuketown, where it was only the middle area as in the classic one. It does seem weird that they gave us Trinity Avenue, which personally I don't mind, but at the same time it's like, come on man, like you guys could have easily had regular Nuketown in this map in terms of, okay, the size. Why do we have to include more stuff to it? The shock mimics not being in this version is actually a pretty good thing though, because I will say, although the shock mimics are kind of challenging sometimes, they are quite annoying. And I just feel like in this case, not having them, it's like, okay, it's actually not a bad challenge. Now from here, what I'm going to do, of course, is keep on rotating and just shoot these zombies as much as I can. But like I said, you want to be careful because man, I'm always getting to these corners for some reason. And hopefully I don't get stuck right here. Oh my gosh, I am. And let me just throw that Casimir, and man, phew, that was a good one right there. Time to get equipment kills against those zombies, and man, earlier I almost died, but luckily for us we were able to get out of a situation, and Casimirs or anything like that are very helpful. Time to get an insta kill, and that's going to help a lot. And luckily for us, because it actually has pretty good mobility, especially with the hipfire accuracy, I mean that's very helpful. And then from here, let's just throw some more grenades because we need to get equipment kills, throw that Molotov, and finally we got this equipment challenge done, and hopefully get some great stuff. Let me open this right here, and of course we got Death Perception. Man, Death Perception is the greatest perk of all time, said no one ever. I mean, really? Come on, man. Imagine if Death Perception was like the meta perk. That would be kind of crazy to think about. Now from here, let's just get the rest of the zombies and move on. Let me try to kill these dogs while I'm on these vehicles, because of course sometimes I like to have a challenge. In this case, let me go to the truck, let me just shoot these dogs, and man, like I said, the slow velocity rounds do kind of hurt this gun a little bit, because of course I missed some dogs right there. Or maybe just my aim, I'm not sure. But from here, let me just keep on shooting them, and I will say that the smoke that comes out of these dogs, it can get a little challenging at times. Let's get some more perks as usual. I'm going to get some Voltray and double tap, and of course, man, look at that. It actually shoots even faster than usual. I thought I shot slow earlier, which it technically did, but now it shoots even quicker. Oh, no, I'm getting stuck. Come on, man. Let me get out of the situation, and okay. Thank God I had Ether Shroud. That was actually very close. And I actually got so many power-ups, that actually helped a lot right there. Let's get some critical kills on these zombies, and luckily for us, it actually has a really good headshot multiplier, and especially with Deadshot, it's actually proven to be a really good weapon. Time to kill even more zombies at the head, and so far, like I said, it doesn't really struggle at that. It's more just so the body shots that I feel like it's not the best at. Luckily for us, we're able to complete this challenge at ease, and then from here, what we're going to do is check out the chest and hopefully get some pretty good stuff. Let me just open it, and then from here, we got Melee Macchiato. Okay, not bad. Sometimes Melee Macchiato does come in clutch. I mean, of course, it's not the best perk in the game by any means, but it's like sometimes it's good to have, because of course, if I'm trying to get some ammo from Voltray or just want to melee the zombies, it's like, you know, it's nice to have that perk. Okay, I got some pretty decent power-ups. Let me just move over here and of course shoot the zombies. And sometimes, like I said, it's not that bad, but of course, it's always good to have Ether Shroud because the burst dash augment really does help to get out of sticky situations. How about inside buildings? Does the Grimhawk do really well at that? Well, so far, it's actually been pretty good at close range, but I feel like whenever you're inside a building, you don't really have much room to work with. And of course, as you can see, I'm easily struggling. But of course, the Casimir always comes to the rescue. Now from here, let me just kill some more zombies. And man, it's just getting kind of crazy. But luckily for us, we got some max ammo just in case we need to throw some more stuff. It's crazy to think that this map was hated on so much when it came out, but I feel like now it's actually pretty good. I mean, I will say it's not the best map, but at the same time, it's like pretty fun to play. I mean, of course, it's classic Nuketown, and just being able to be in an atmosphere, I mean, it feels really good to see, honestly. Time for Pack-A-Punch 3. Let's see how it kills the zombies. And so far, it's actually pretty good. I mean, for once, it literally deals like multiple headshot damage towards them. And I will say one thing, of course, you gotta just train with this weapon. That's literally the best way to do it. And especially in those cases where you have nukes which can easily save your butt. Recently, I actually did the Ashes of the Damn Easter egg, and man, it was actually quite challenging at first because I was like, you know what, I wanted to try it out for once. And I feel like in this case, when I tried it out, it was pretty tough. There were so many steps you had to go through. I mean, you literally had to do so many trials and of course so many items. But I feel like once I got the hang of it, I was like, it's actually not that bad. I mean, for one, the Ashes of the Damn map is actually the first one in this game, and having to do the Easter egg, it's actually pretty fun. I will say one thing is that, of course, it's challenging as usual, But at the same time, it's like you guys should try it as well. I mean, maybe you'll see it somewhere. And fortunately for you guys, I actually completed it already, and maybe you'll see it on my channel somewhere. I mean, you could just check it out. But I will say maybe after this run, because of course, so far I'm just trying to kill the zombies with the Grimhawk, and what the heck is that? Did I just unlock the ISR? That's kind of weird. I already have that weapon. That's basically the M27 in this game, but honestly, it's not as special. I mean, it does have a suppressor, but I feel like it's not really the best gun in the game at all. But maybe in the future I might try it out. I mean, if you guys let me know, maybe I'll use it soon. But of course, let's just keep on killing these zombies. And man, like I said, I am going to be trying out the cursed relics because of course that's still something I want to unlock. Specifically for Ashes to the Damned. Honestly, the cursed relics won't be as tough to do just because some of them are actually pretty straightforward. I will say, of course, some of them you have to get to like round 20, 40, and 60, and those I will say are a little bit tough, but honestly, it's not even that bad. And speaking of bad, I almost died right there, but luckily for us, the Casimir came to the rescue. Let me just get that stuff right there, and then from there, we're good. Let me just buy Quick Revive pretty quickly because, of course, to avoid dying. When making Easter eggs, I feel like there's always a fine line between making them easy and, of course, making them difficult. But at the same time, I will say this game has done really well because, of course, you have directed mode, which makes it that it can teach you how to do the Easter egg, and then from there, you could just attempt the main one, which is basically the same thing but a little bit more challenging. And I feel like in this case, it just makes it so much easier to get access to because, of course, sometimes back in the day, I would think to myself, do I really want to do that? And I feel like it was just one of those things where it's like super difficult because I just didn't feel like doing the Easter egg at all. However, in this case, because you have directed mode, it's like it introduces you to so many elements of each map, and it just makes us that us players can actually get access to doing the Easter eggs. And I feel like for me it helps a lot because I'm like, okay, I want to create these guides, but how will I? And now in this case, of course, since I already have the Easter egg completed because of directed mode, it actually helped me a lot in creating these guides. And of course, in the future, you're going to see more guides and more maps because, of course, I want to make sure you guys can complete the Easter eggs too in the best and simplest way as possible. Now, of course, let's just kill these dogs because they're getting a little annoying, but we got max ammo. Time to get some combat axe skills, and honestly, it's actually not that bad to do. However, in Rampage Reducer, it's a little bit challenging for real. Just make sure you keep your distance, and using the combat axes is not really a problem. And then from here, of course, we got a highest tier rarity, and I just love the fact that, of course, we can see what we get from this box. And I got the Ray Gun Mark II. Okay, maybe later on I'll use it. It just depends. Speaking of what I said before, I feel like the cursed relics are definitely a huge opportunity for Treyarch to be like, hey, we can offer you guys the classic mode, just use these cursed relics and you're going to be successful. One thing I will say though that I don't like is that it does take time to unlock them, and I feel like overall, like in the long term of things, it's going to be more difficult for people to be like, you know what, should I even unlock this? But the good thing for you guys is don't you worry, because of course, once I complete all the cursed relics, you guys are going to see that on my channel, and you'll see that I'm going to make it as simple and as easy to follow as possible. Time to exfil in Paradox Junction with the Grimhawk special weapon, and let's see who we deal with as the main enemy. Maybe it's still the Mimic, I'm not sure about that. And of course it is him, but for some reason he's not on the nuked version of this map, because of course this is just survival only. Now from here they'll just shoot his mount, and that's so much damage right there. We're dealing like over 9,000 damage, that's actually pretty crazy. Now from here, of course, let's just throw that Casimir, keep on shooting his mouth, and so far we're able to kill him pretty quickly. And now you can actually exfil without waiting for that wisp, which is actually pretty good. Now stick around and you'll see something special. This is the best class setup for the Grimhawk special weapon. For the optic, we're going to use a Prismatech Affirm 2X, which allows for better magnification and recoil gun kick. For the magazine, we're going to use a PT Expanse Mag, which allows you to have more magazine rounds. This has been a full breakdown of the Grimhawk special weapon and BO7 Zombies. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.